hello. Here we are, Friday. It just feels like we was just here, right? Time flies. Man, I'm so glad I am back here because I get excited every time I get to do these live streams because I get to hang out with all my people, and sometimes, just sometimes, we get a gigantic audience, and that's exactly what we got right now. We are popping off on Rumble, got 785 right out the gate. It's going to be a good show. Let's not mess it up. Let's try to stay focused. Zen, Goosefraba. Okay, here's the deal. So, right out the gate, how is everybody doing? Jumping over here into the chats. I see I got all my OGs here. We are going to be talking about a bunch of cases and a couple weird stories, and then we're going to be transitioning to end it on a positive note, and that's where you guys come in, and I have something new. I always tell you guys, drop your questions into the comments, or the chat room. Drop your questions into the chat room, stuff like that, right? Well, I always miss them. I always miss questions, and people get mad at me. It's not my fault, I just can't catch it, but I don't want you guys mad at me, so I have this new thing set up. If you go into the description, it should be there on Rumble and YouTube and wherever else you're watching. It says ask your questions here. That is a form. It simply just takes you over to a page and it says ask a question. Ask your question, hit the submit button. Fingers crossed I will get it. And towards the second half of the show, I will read off your questions and we'll hopefully have a pretty good time answering some of these questions. And if you're a troll, don't worry. Nobody's going to see your trolly question. It'll just get ignored. Unless it's a really good troll, then I might read it anyways, because sometimes it's very creative, the trolls, they come out and it's just wild. So before we get started, let's immediately jump into the personal news stories, the update. Candace, the countdown is upon us. She has got, man, what is it, the 8th? We just got a few more days next Thursday, I guess 6 days, until her big surgery. They're going to be plucking that kidney out, and she's going to be known as the unikidney. I'm nervous, don't get me wrong. We went to do the pre-op a couple days ago. They asked the questions and stuff, slapped us with a little bit of realization on what could happen. I don't like those kind of questions. I don't like what I was hearing, but at the same time, it is what it is. So we're just going to stay positive. I'm going to be going live Wednesday night because we're leaving in the morning. She'll have her surgery. She'll end up staying overnight, and then fingers crossed she gets to come home Friday. I will put her in the bed and take care of her, and if everything's going right, we will do a Friday live stream to give you guys an update, so to speak. She made it home. She's safe. She's sore, stuff like that. She's up and about, and we're going to. That's what we're hoping for. Best case. Worst case, we don't want to talk about that. Second to worst case, she might have some complications, might have to stay in the hospital a couple more days. We just don't know. But we're voting for textbook surgery. And everything's going to be groovy. She actually got a card today from a viewer. And I don't know if you're watching this because it was a saving the cabin, but it was a get well soon card from all the way from Australia. Now I live in Georgia, so that's pretty far. So that's pretty cool. We got it. I don't know. It's just weird that we have that far of a reach. So all of you international viewers, thank you so much for hanging out with me. So let's dive into what we're going to be talking about today. So the story of the day is we have an update. I finally have an update about Impacts Plastics. Now, they are the company that it is alleged, which, I don't know, there's a lawsuit pending now, so it's a pretty good alleged, that the higher-ups would not let their personnel leave on time before the historic flood hit. And that unfortunately cost 6 people their lives. And well, the update is the CEO, the owner of the company, it's looking like he up and abandoned ship and left his people there. He escaped to safety while he left his people there to get flooded out and pass away. Very sad. Obviously, this is alleged, but there's an investigation going. We're going to dive into that. And let me see what else we got going on here. We're going to talk about this. Now, this is an older story. It goes all the way back to May 16th, but I just came across it today, and it's out of Tennessee. Apparently, a freezer that was dug up, that was found underground, buried, it had somebody in it, and they obviously was passed away. And just a crazy story I pretty much want to share with you guys. Also, we're going to jump back into Vaughn Callenbach's case. That is the older gentleman that went missing right here in Georgia. And there's lots of negligence. The police kind of dropped the ball from the beginning of the search. And now it's just, I don't know. I don't even know what's going on. But I've talked to the daughter some more, got some more information. We'll talk about that a little bit. And then we also have a story, an international story. This is a pretty cool story, that another body was found just randomly. Like these people moved into a house. They went upstairs to do something, and they found a body of somebody who used to live there. This is all the way over in France. So kind of a cool international story to share. And then I kind of got stuff all over the place. I want to say I have something else to show you guys. But then we'll dive into the Q&A type. Pretty much you guys, just if you want to keep this live stream going, go to that form, the link into the description, click it and see if it works. And send me any questions. At the end of the day, at the end of the live, we're going to pull that up and we're going to, I don't know, have a hangout, have a good time. Had a pretty good time last time. So let's see if we can do that again. So let's see here. Let me jump over here really quick and see what's going on in the chat room. Man, I noticed like half the people who signed into the Rumble live stream has left. So, oh well. I still got my OGs here with me, so we're good to go. Let's see here. So what do we need to get out of the way first? I want to say nothing. Let's just jump right into these stories. So let's talk about Impact's Plastics. Now, if you guys don't have any idea what I'm talking about, I have a news story for you to watch. So let's watch this. It is kind of long. We're saying like 3 minutes, but it will paint a picture of exactly what is going on, and it'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. But check this out.
We are hearing from the family of a supervisor killed at the plastics factory in East Tennessee.
They claim the owner of that factory was not one of the last to leave the plant, and as he has publicly stated.
They tell me that 55-year-old Johnny Peterson helped get at least 10 people out of the plant and onto the bed of an 18-wheeler truck. That truck flipped over. Some survived and were rescued by a National Guard helicopter, but Peterson did not. This was the last video Johnny Peterson sent his daughter, Alexa. Timestamped 12:57 p.m. Friday, September 27th. Alexa says her dad took these videos in the bed of an 18-wheeler truck before Hurricane Helene floodwaters flipped that truck over. She says his body was found 2 days later.
My anger is it's just anger. I'm angry.
That anger began as Peterson texted Alexa updates throughout the morning while at work. He was a supervisor at Impact Plastics. This picture, taken at 11:23 a.m., shows flooding inside the factory. He told her in preceding messages the company had not shut down the plant.
The entire situation is just so infuriating.
The founder of Impact Plastics, Gerald O'Connor, released this video statement last week.
The flood of September 27th took from our Impact Plastics family some great employees. One was a personal friend of more than 30 years of working together.
Alexa believes O'Connor is referring to her father.
I don't think Dad considered him a friend. I think he considered him a boss.
She says her dad worked there for 35 years.
I personally would not be treating my friend or my deceased friend's family the way that Impact has been treating everyone.
Alexa says O'Connor did call her after her father's death.
He said that he was sorry to hear that Dad died and that he wanted me to know that Dad was there helping people, that Dad did not leave with them when he had the opportunity to.
Gerald O'Connor said in that phone call to you that he and others left before your dad and other employees left the plant.
That is correct.
That contradicts what O'Connor said in his video statement.
After checking to make sure everyone was out of our plant and to rescue important files, I was one of the last people to leave the plant.
Attorney Alex Little is now representing the Peterson family.
What we're starting to find out is that a group of management, which is a family-owned company, they all kind of left out one way, the back, and the workers were sort of left to fend for themselves.
Little says Peterson stayed at the plant to help save others. This comment on his obituary says, quote, "I am here today because of Johnny. We were trapped in the building, and Johnny found us a way out."
I don't think that he would have been able to live with himself to have left those people there and not tried to help everyone get out.
Yeah, so that pretty much tells you exactly what is going on. So let's do a quick recap here, because I've actually talked about this a few times, and it's kind of disturbing. So, like what you heard in the story, the family of Johnny Peterson is suing Impacts Plastics and the CEO Gerald O'Connor, the older gentleman sitting there talking, and inconvenient timing. And after people was killed in the flash flood during Hurricane Helene. Now, the tragic circumstances are, despite other businesses closing in the area, Impact Plastics allegedly kept its workers on site, ignoring evacuation requests to meet order deadlines, which is crap, don't you think? Obviously, they shouldn't have even been open. They knew the storm was coming. I don't understand. And the factory is right by the river. So it's not like it wasn't even in a floodplain. Like, yeah, just crazy. So the incident details are like there was unsafe conditions. Workers reportedly feared for their lives as floodwaters rose and other businesses shut down. The CEO's actions, the lawsuit claims that while workers were left trapped, CEO Gerald O'Connor and other senior management exited through a back door without informing the employees. So he up and jumped ship. The captain is always supposed to go down with his ship. Obviously, that does not happen. So Peterson continued texting his family from inside the plant, expressing fear that he cannot get out. His last messages were emotional, telling his daughter, "I love you all," and responding to his father, "Not for long." Man, that's crazy. Imagine how heartbreaking that is. And he essentially filmed his last moments alive, and they managed. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. So he is going to be remembered as a hero, reportedly attempting to help coworkers who were also trapped. 11 workers were swept away in the flood. 6 of them, including Peterson, tragically lost their lives. Now, the company's position is what you just saw. The CEO released a video claiming employees were informed to leave 45 minutes before the flood hit, and he denied that anyone was told they would be fired for leaving. He also stated that no one perished on company property. Well, no shit. They were washed away. Dummy. So the family's lawyer, Zach Lawson, insists that Impact Plastics are aware of the flood risks and failed to act. He vows to hold the company accountable for Peterson's death. There is an investigation. The Tennessee OSHA and Bureau of Investigations, they are actively investigating Impact Plastics to determine if there were violations of safety protocols during the storm. Kind of sounds like it, doesn't it? Now, there were emotional and legal implications, death threats, public backlashes. Now, Gerald O'Connor, the white guy in the old white guy in the video, he claims his family has received death threats since the incident, underscoring the intense public scrutiny. The lawsuit continues and emphasizes that the deaths were preventable, spotlighting issues in workplace safety and emergency preparedness during extreme weather events. And this story brings attention to the responsibilities of employers during natural disasters and the need for safety protocols to protect employees. What do you guys think about that? That's pretty damn heartbreaking if you ask me. Totally preventable. Nobody had to lose their lives at this factory. Obviously, this storm didn't just sneak up behind them and decide to dump 2 feet of rain. They knew this was coming. This was 1,000% negligence. I hope that I hope that the CEO, I hope the business gets crucified for this, because this kind of sounds like slave labor. They were running it kind of like you would think you can't leave or you're fired, and these guys needed their jobs. So they stayed because for fear of getting fired, and it cost them their lives. Boo on Gerald. I hope he gets what's coming to him, legally speaking. But we'll see what happens. Man, that story sucks, dude, doesn't it? But segueing off of that one, dude, we did hear a story today that a body that was actually buried. I don't know if you guys saw this video, and I cannot find it. I probably could, but I didn't find it today. When the flooding was going down, around North Carolina and stuff, somebody caught a video of a coffin floating down the raging river, right? I don't know if you guys saw that or not. And I personally immediately thought, where did this coffin come from? It was just one coffin, And did it come out of a hearse? Who knows? Was there somebody in this thing? I don't know if this story that they put out has to do with that coffin, but this story says that a body that was buried in North Carolina washed up into Tennessee due to the flooding caused by the hurricane, right? And it said they were buried, the body was buried in Whitsun Cemetery, Yancey County in 2006. So I'm thinking it wasn't just a body. It had to have been in a coffin, right? 2006, they don't just throw bodies in the dirt. There's coffins. So what if that coffin that was floating down the river, that was this story? I was wondering if that coffin was ever going to pop up again, because everything washed away in this storm. Everything. Houses, cars, trucks. I saw a picture just yesterday somebody sent me. Recently, yesterday is when he took it. There is a tractor trailer upside down out in the river, and the river's right now it's, I don't know, a foot deep, 2 feet deep. There is a full-size semi-truck upside down, and the only thing you can see are the tires. You can't see the frame, you can't see any of the undercarriage, just the tires sticking up out of the mud. The entire semi-truck is under the mud in the river. I haven't seen it face to face. I still haven't been able to really understand the gravity of the damage and the destruction coming out of this place. But can you imagine how much mud and dirt was moved and repositioned and stuff like that to bury an entire semi truck? That, you ever stand next to a semi truck? It's, I don't know, 10, 15 foot high. That's completely buried in the river. I don't know, and that just happened. Crazy. Is anybody in the semi truck? Nobody knows at this time. And that brings up the question again, the whole downplaying of the missing people has come back to light again, because I've been asking questions, and everybody I've talked to, same thing. They are lying. They're wrong. They don't know what they're talking about. There are hundreds of people still missing. I don't understand why they would downplay this. The election's over. We know who's going to be president. It's not like they're hiding the results to make somebody or somebody else look good or look bad. It's over. Why don't they come out with the truth? I don't understand that. I don't understand it to save my life. What is the big secret? Natural disasters happen. People die, right? Tidal wave, Japan, tidal wave in Thailand, thousands of people died, right? They didn't hide the numbers. For some reason here, everybody's been accounted for. Oh, there's only 10 people missing. Oh, there's only 40 people missing total. I've been hearing at least 500 more people missing. That's what I've been hearing. Proof? I got no proof. It's just word of mouth. But it seems like everybody who's been in it knows that number, and everybody who's official mainstream news media, FEMA, whoever else you want to talk about, they're like, oh yeah, 40, 50 people. They downplay it. It's no big deal. But I don't know. I don't want to speculate, but it sure does sound like it's driving me nuts. Why would they downplay the numbers? Why would you hide that? What does it matter? I just don't get it. People die, sadly, in natural disasters. It's horrible. What can you do, man? What can you do? So, like I said, this impacts plastics is pretty much one of many stories coming out of this area. But this is one that's really catching everybody's eye because of the negligence and the slave labor it looks like they ran at this place. But it looks like they're also going to get what's coming to them. So, excuse me. So moving on, there was a freezer that apparently was deliberately buried, and they found it. I guess there was a metal detector or something that found this thing, and they dug it up, and there was somebody inside it. And I found this video that pretty much, this video was filmed pretty much, I guess, after the fact. They found out, they've linked it. They got one person in jail, but they found out there's somebody else at large. So let's get his face out there and see if you guys recognize him.
Carter County Sheriff's Office has obtained an arrest warrant on a second person connected to a homicide investigation. Authorities are looking for Jim Chambers of Elizabethton. He is charged with first-degree murder. Now, last week, Joey Gwynn was arrested and charged with first-degree murder after human remains were found in a buried freezer. There is a $1,000 reward for any information leading to the arrest of Jim Chambers.
Yeah. So get his face out there, but apparently, let's see here, the story goes, a body of a man who was missing for nearly 4 months was found inside a freezer buried underground, Tennessee. Now, what was, I think it was, let's see, I forget what part of Tennessee, maybe the story will tell us here in a minute, but there's a 46-year-old man, Joey Lee, like it said, faces charges of first-degree murder, abuse of a corpse, and tampering with evidence. Let's see here. Investigators had been searching for clues related to the disappearance of 64-year-old Edward Elliott, who hadn't been seen since late January, and he was reported missing by his family March 31st. This is Carter County, is where we was at. I don't know if they even say the city. This is Carter County. Carter County Sheriff's Office is where this gentleman was from. And they were asking for the public's help. He had a medical condition, makes it difficult for him to return without assistance. He was last known to the rural area of Roan Mountain, and an anonymous tip led the investigators to search Gwynn's home, the guy who's locked up now for murder, and nearby properties on May 15th. The cadaver dog indicated human remains were on the property, and investigators brought out a metal detector, according to deputies. They scanned the area. The detector alerted and officers to a metal object underground, started digging, and found a large freezer. When it was open, they discovered it contained human remains. And Gwynn, the guy who owned the property, was arrested that day, booked in Carter County Jail, $5 million bond. And then they go on to talk about how they're very proud of their officers, sheriff's department, everybody did a good job. Now it's time to hold them accountable. And there, like I said, there was that second person that is still on the loose. Now, like I said, this story is also older, so an update, which I couldn't find anything, but he may have already been found. This case might actually be closed. But how crazy is that? You'd never, man, there's so many people missing in the world. How many people are buried? How many people are underwater? How many people are still alive who are, what the hell, I just dug something up out of my tooth. Oh, that was nasty. Hey, always think about that. What's the number again? 600,000 people missing. Over 340,000 children unaccounted for. That's a lot of people. That's a lot of bodies potentially. So where are they? And this one just showed, this is just one of how many 100,000 people missing buried in a freezer in somebody's property. So you never really know. Every time I see a car, I'm not lying to you. Today I was driving down the road. Actually last night when I went to go pick up Fiona, there was a black Mini Cooper on the side of the road. It's still there. The first thing on my mind when I drove by it, I was like, should I turn around and go back to look inside? Because you never know. Why is that's how my mind plays. Probably it broke down, ran out of gas, something like that. It was a Mini Cooper, you never know. But what if there's somebody in there? The other day I was driving down the road and I pulled over because I had to do something. I had my son in the car, and I noticed outside laying on the ground was a suitcase. And what did I do? The first thing I did, I jumped out and I looked inside the suitcase to see if there was anything inside. Because you just don't know. Man, this cabin's creepy, isn't it? It's like pitch black here right now, and I just always hear noises. It's crazy. It's crazy. Trying to stay focused, though. Man. So, there's a fly. Man, I need an upgrade. I need to get this cabin fixed. I need a comfortable seat. I need insulation. All kinds of stuff. So what else was we going to talk about? Let's talk about Vaughn Callenbach. Now, this gentleman, let me see here. We're going to pull up his face. We have a missing person sheet right here. Give you guys a reminder of who he is. This is Vaughn Callenbach. He is an older gentleman, 77. He went missing July 5th, 2024. And we have been following this case for a little bit now. Now, he was an elderly man, gray beard. You see what he's looking like here. Now, the story is pretty crazy, but let's just do a recap here really quick. Man, it's weird. So pretty much the update is I've been following this case closely, and here in Rabun County, Georgia, this is not very far from where I live. It's very troubling, and it feels like it needs some more attention, right? So He's been missing for some time now under circumstances that just don't add up. So here's what we know. Let's go through the facts here. Vaughn's truck was found over an embankment just off the road by a small concrete bridge. I don't know if you guys remember this picture, but it was a dirt road. It was out in the country a little bit by a river, and the truck looks like it was backed up, and it backed up too far and went down an embankment. You could only see the front of the truck, and it was in a thicket too, right? So just past the bridge. So at first it was treated as an abandoned vehicle, and from what I understand, there wasn't much investigation done at the scene. No fingerprinting, no real search for blood, other than clues that might have suggested foul play. And that decision, that quick assumption, has left a lot of questions unanswered, and a family feeling like no one was really looking out for Vaughn from the start. Now, let me back up here for a second. So they treat it as an abandoned vehicle, right? They're like, oh, there's an abandoned vehicle sitting there. The police did not do a welfare check. The police did not run the tag and figure out who it belonged to. The police did not go to Vaughn's house that night and do a welfare check. Hey, man, we found your truck. It looks like it was wrecked. It looks like it was stuck. Hey, stuff like that. From what I've heard, they didn't do that. They showed up, they seen this truck in the woods, and they treated it as an abandoned vehicle. And they called a tow truck hauled it off, and that was it, right? Family never even knew about this, right? So, story about Vaughn, he was an outdoorsman, but his family and friends say he would have known better than to park in such a precarious spot. Obviously, this looked like a wreck, not someplace you park a car, like embankment. It went down the hill, it was stuck. And especially since he'd always take his favorite fishing spots off the safer side of the road. When they found his truck, his fishing gear was still in the truck, but his firearm was missing, a detail that raises even more red flags. His truck was typically on the messy side, but certain areas were noticeably clean, like the steering wheel and the driver's side door, which struck the family as unusual. What does that sound like? Maybe it sounds like somebody dumped this thing there. Maybe he was never out there to begin with, and somebody wiped off the steering wheel and the side, get rid of fingerprints, something like that. So after several days with no answers coming from the initial investigation, Vaughn's family reached out to the GBI, Georgia Bureau of Investigations, and thankfully they stepped in, brought fresh energy to the search. Volunteers had gone over the area near the truck, but still nothing, right? Despite all the searches, no signs of Vaughn have been found, and it feels like something just isn't right here. Are you feeling me? If this was an accident, like at first when I saw the pictures and I heard he was an elderly man, it kind of looked like he was backing up to turn around. He backed up too far. He went down the embankment. It wasn't crazy far, like the truck wasn't wrecked or anything, but it obviously was not coming out on its own. It had to get pulled out. My first thought was, if something happened to him and he did this all on his own, that's where he would have been found, right? Because it was in a thicket. It was in briars, kudzu, all that stuff. Steep embankment, elderly man. Could he, if he even got out of the vehicle, could he even make it up that embankment? Could he have injured himself? Either way, the vicinity of that area, you would think, if something bad happened to him, if he passed away somehow, that's where he would be, right? Apparently that's not where he is. Apparently they've searched that spot thoroughly. They can't find him. So now the thought is foul play. Something else happened. So people in the community have started sharing their theories, with some convinced that the truck was planted or misled to mislead investigators. It's hard not to wonder about the possibility when you hear these details, but until there's more evidence, it remains a mystery, and that's why this case needs to stay on the people's radar. The family wants folks to know that a new sheriff is in place, and they're hopeful this new leadership will bring some momentum to Vaughn's case. So if anyone out there has any information, I've been getting messages about this. I got lots of locals in Georgia that like listening to me for some weird reason. But if you guys have any information or even a hunch about what happened, please reach out to the GBI. Every little bit of information could help piece together what happened and hopefully bring Vaughn home. This is weird because Rabun County, the place where he went missing, this isn't a big area, right? This isn't a huge city. You think you'd figure this out. Now, I don't know. It's either foul play or it's an accident. But if it was an accident, he'd be around that area, right? His fishing gear was still in the truck, so he didn't get lost fishing, right? And he's a local; he knows where he's going, right? He is 77, but that doesn't mean anything. He could be a strapping 77-year-old man. He could do what he wants, runs marathons. I don't know, but he was not found anywhere in the vicinity, right? Now, the car looks, from what it's reading, it sounds like the car may have been wiped down. So that kind of throws a red flag. His gun is also missing. Now, that doesn't mean much if he always had it on his hip, or was it always in the vehicle? That I don't know. But either way, he hasn't been found yet. And this kind of sounds like one of those cases. It's just like, what? This doesn't make any sense. You know, it just kind of, people just don't vanish. There's always a reason why somebody disappears, right? So the family has the serial numbers of the gun. They should turn that info in, correct? I would assume. I don't know if they do. These are great questions, though. I could definitely, like, if you guys have these kind of questions that I can't answer, I will run them by the daughter, and I'm sure she'll be able to answer it. We can get more information out there. More information, the better. That way we can each paint a picture of what's going on and see if we can find this guy. It's been since July. Like I said, every missing person, it would be amazing if they could come home alive and well. That window, unfortunately, is closing, if not completely closed for this gentleman. But that doesn't mean he needs to be forgotten about. We, you know, as a community, especially around here, you know, I don't want this case to go cold, right? It's no reason for that. So if somebody did something to him, even if it was an accident, like somebody's driving by and accidentally clipped him walking down the road, maybe. Now this is pretty loose, but what if he did accidentally wreck his truck, backed up and wrecked it, and he crawled up to the road and somebody drove by and hit him, panicked, threw him in the back of their truck and hauled him off somewhere else to dump him? Maybe he had his gun on him when this happened. Maybe he got done fishing, put his fishing rods in the back of the truck, and then as he was backing up, he backed up too far and wrecked, and then something happened and somebody came along and picked him up. Maybe he was hitchhiking because his truck was stuck. Somebody picked him up and robbed him and you know, done something to him that way. I mean, these are all theories, but the problem is it doesn't sound like there's anybody even that they're even thinking about that could be a suspect. So I don't know about that one. But the search does continue, and like I said, like I always try to say, if I get any updates, I will share them with you. But I think if we keep talking about these missing person cases, that, you know, eventually we're going to, I don't know, but yeah, I think it would help, doesn't it? So I am kind of curious if this Q&A thing is working. Have you guys even attempted it yet? Because I don't know. So let me know if you guys have even tried clicking on it yet and hitting that submit button to see if we have any questions that we can jump into here in just a little bit. Kind of have one more story that I want to share with you guys that I found really, really creepy, but at the same time international, all the way from France, right? So I don't know if you've heard about this one or not, but it's pretty darn creepy. Let's just go with that, huh? So all right. So let's just dive into this eerie story, right? So imagine this. Now, I don't have any videos or anything for you really, except for the story I found, because this is international. I don't know how they do stuff in France, but there's a new homeowners in a village called Unsolved, right on the France-Germany border, right? Just moved into their place. They're starting to settle in. Then out of nowhere, they notice a leak coming from the roof. They go to check it out, heading up to the attic, and that's when they stumble on something no one could have expected, right? They find the remains of Alois Ifli, right? Pretty cool name. A man who had been missing for 15 years. Now, here's the twist. Alois had lived there with his wife, who stayed in that same house for over a decade after he disappeared, totally unaware of what was above her in the attic. She passed away in 2020, and only after the house went up for sale and these new folks moved in was the body finally discovered. Police found more clues up there too, a rope hanging near where they found the body. So authorities might think this has something to do, it might be pointing to suicide, but they're not jumping to conclusions just yet. The remains were sent off to the Strasbourg for an autopsy. The investigators are hoping the results will shed some light on exactly what happened to Aloise all those years ago. So for the community, and honestly for the whole country, this is a mystery that's been hanging over them for years. Maybe, just maybe, the discovery will finally close the book on what happened to Aloise Ifley after so many years of questions. Man, pretty crazy story, but how do you go all those years without ever going up into the attic? Did you even know the place had an attic? You know, I don't know, maybe it's just a crawl space or something, but weird to say the least. I guess after a while, because we all know how things die and how things transform, so to speak. You know, it's kind of hard, but you know what I get, right? You go fresh, decomposition, stink, bloating, liquids. It's a very messy process on decomposition. But then, depending on the environment, mummification, you know, and it just preservation, depending on, you know, it could be cold up there, no humidity, something like that. So all of that suddenly goes away, and then you just have like this withered mummification remains just sitting there, and nobody comes across it for so long. That is crazy, right? Yeah, dust puzzle, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah, it had to have been a mess, but still, I guess it wasn't as much as you would think, right? And then the fact that they said they found a rope suggesting suicide, but the body was on the ground, so, you know, obviously, was he hanging there for so many years before finally he fell just because of the decomposition? That's a crazy thing to end this to think about, right? But either way, I mean, I don't know. I just wanted to share that story with you because I figure you guys might enjoy that, and I'm glad you guys did. So, let me see here. Where is it? Stacey King. I'm not sure what you're talking about. But that last story I told you about, that was in France. Let's see if they have the city here. Alois lived home, reported missing. A small village. Let me see here. The discovery was made in Erstoff, a small village in the Alsace-Lorraine. Alsace-Lorraine region of France near the German border. I am not French. I don't have that accent. I can't do it. I can roll my R's, but still. Would you not clean up the house before selling? That's what I would think. No one bothered to look around the house before they bought it. That's also what I would think, right? So what is this? This attic was like a hidden room nobody knew about? But I don't know. They have a picture here, but I don't think this is the attic because it's not... This is the story I came across, but I don't think this is the attic because this looks really new. And there's stuff up there, storage. I think they're just using this for the story. I don't think they have any actual pictures of the attic. But I don't know. If I find some, I'll share them with you on Locals or something. So let's see here. What did I want to do? I wanted to... Let's see here. So how y'all doing? Everybody enjoying this Friday live stream? I know sometimes you know what? I don't know what to say. Maybe they're fun, maybe they're not. But I hope you guys are having a good time hanging out with me. I do enjoy these live streams. I want to say the last live stream we did was actually pretty darn fun. I don't know why. Everything just kind of flowed into place. So let me click this thing right here. I got to double click it, I guess. So there's responses. Oh, look at that. Okay, it does work. We got 4 questions through the Q&A. Not near enough, but still. That would be the best way if you guys have any questions, concerns, comments. Hit that Q&A form, or pretty much follow the link in the description where you can ask a question there. I'll also glance over here, but let's start winding down this live stream on a positive note like we did last time, because it's hard to talk about doom and gloom and missing people, and you got to be serious about this stuff, you know, because obviously we have a passion for it, but at the same time, you don't want to leave the live stream feeling, you know, bummed out, you know, like, man, it's just always all these missing people. There's all this unaccounted for stuff. I was like, ugh, I feel so defeated, right? So we don't want you guys to go to sleep, depending on where you're at, on a bad note. So let's talk positivity. Let's see what we can come up with and go from there. So Before we get started, let me show you guys really quick what I am all about when it comes to nonprofits. I love talking about this because that's the best way to get the word out there. We are an official 501c3 nonprofit, Rapid Compassion Collective. I talk about it every night. If you guys, I know you guys hear about it from me a lot, but even still, I love talking about it. But rapidcc.org, that is our nonprofit where we search for missing people and we clean up the environment from large hazardous waste like cars, boats, whatever else is in the water that doesn't belong. We have a wrecker, we have boats, scuba gear, it's really fun stuff, but without your guys' support, we would not be able to afford gas and food to keep us running on the road. Now, obviously we make these live streams for revenue. Really? I've got to get a new camera. Like I said, we run these live streams to generate revenue. We make videos on Facebook, YouTube, wherever else to generate revenue. That is our full-time job. That's what we do for a living. It's a fun job. It's a good living, but it does take its toll on us financially when we spend every penny that we can afford to spend on food and gas and stuff like that. So let's see if we can get the word out with this nonprofit. Let's see if we can find ourselves some dudes, some companies with some money bags that really want to get behind us. Because if I'm suffering on anything, it is trying to find those big corporate donors, those mega donors that want to get behind us. We're still a new nonprofit, so we're trying to prove ourselves. But at the same time, how much more could we accomplish fully funded? Think about that. With that being said, let's dive into the first question right in front of me. I'm so excited for this. And it says right here, Christine Smith out of Lakeport, California. Is there an address to send you and Candace things? Absolutely there is an address. And I wonder if, I don't know if Candace is watching or not, but I have it. You know what I'm going to do? I don't know what I'm going to do. Let me look really quick. It used to be on YouTube, but I have it saved here. Let me look. I don't even know if the moderators have that address to put in the chat. But let's see if you guys can find it really quick. But if not, I will pull it up on my phone. Where's the notes? You guys have notes on your phone? Notes. There it is. All right. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to type it in the chat right now just for you. And see what you think. If you hold this down in this, nope, that's not going to work. But that's the first part. STE113.152. And then we're going to go into Jasper, Georgia, 30143. That's our mailing address. It's a P.O. box. That way, see, Candace just texted it to me. But yeah, there you go. And see, next one, testing if you're getting messages. And it works. Yay, we got a message. Let me see here. I put a link for this in the chat room from Sue. Thank you so much. Elon, come on in and join Nug. Sheesh. That would be like winning the lottery 3 times. You're right, is getting on his radar. Oh, that'd be so cool. Man, that guy's the richest man on the planet. I don't know if he will. I don't know if I could ever get on that dude's radar, but I'm trying to get on Chris, the CEO of Rumble's radar, because I was trying to see if Rumble does some kind of non-profit corporate sponsorships, partnerships, something like that, because I am really enjoying my time so far on this platform. Love politics or hate politics. There's more to Rumble than just Republican, Democrat, conspiracy theories. There's gaming now. Treasure hunting videos are popping up. I'm doing the missing person thing. I think I might be the one running crazy with it right now, but I'm not too sure. And there's all kinds of new stuff. So I like it. It's unfiltered. There's no censorship. You never have to worry about saying the wrong thing because, other platforms like to censor you or shut you down. And it happens all the time. It actually happened to the CEO of Rumble. He made a TikTok. I just saw this today that, what do you say here? He made a TikTok about how pretty much he was just thanking Dan Bongino. It's like, hey, kudos, you're doing a great job, stuff like that. And for some reason, TikTok took that down. It goes against their guidelines. It was a complete lie. They didn't want him posting stuff on the platform, so that's what happened. So they don't do that over there. So there you go. That's why I like it. It has nothing to do with politics. I rarely watch political stuff on Rumble. I just watch goofy videos. What can you do? So let's see here. If the gun he was carrying was registered, will it be on file with the feds? Maybe. I highly doubt it was registered. This is Georgia. Nobody registers their firearms. It's not required. It's not illegal to own an unregistered firearm here. I never registered mine. Never thought the need to. It's personally, I don't see the point. It's kind of like registering your tools. It's just, I don't get it. So no, I don't think it would even be registered. But if for some reason he did, yes. If for some reason his gun was found, they could link it through his number. But I don't know if it was. Chances are it wasn't. So let's see what happened there. Will Fiona be joining other live streams? Absolutely. The reason I don't have her out here for most of the live streams is because we are talking about missing people and kind of mature stuff. And, you know, I try to shelter her as much as I can, even though I kind of do a bad job of it considering I got a potty mouth. But what can you do? But yes, she'll join me again. It's always fun to have her out here. And as time goes on, she gets a little bit older. You know, she's going to... I want to get her involved in what we do. Obviously not the missing person stuff, but scuba diving, treasure hunting, getting on the boat, doing all that fun stuff, right? Let's see here. So Megan asks, she was wondering if you've had a chance to do some research about Fred Page or want to look into it more before sharing the story. Yes, I know it's an old case, but any info sharing could be helpful. I have no clue who Fred Page is, but I'm going to Google it right now just to get an idea. Fred Page missing. Is he missing, or was it like unsolved murder? Like, oh God, is this the one missing torso by Fred Page, or is he? No, that can't be it. Not sure. I think that one you probably have to send me some more information. And it says an older case. Yeah, I Googled it. Nothing's really popping up, but. Does not mean I won't look into it. Just got to find some more information on it. Let me see here. I'm wondering how you are coping with all the kid running around. How am I coping with all the kids running around? I'm confused. I cope well, I guess you could say. Am I coping with all the kids running around? Well, like behind me? Are you seeing ghosts or something? Not sure. Meeting Megan. Oh, Megan emailed me about this. Well, let me go back and look into that. No, that's not it. I get so much emails. I just don't know. But like I said, yeah, I'll definitely jump into it. We'll see what we can figure out. Talk about it. At the least, I can talk about it on here. Let me see here. Let me see. Linda says that she loves the page. Why did I get kicked out of Nug Nation? Also, I love your name, Exploring with Nug. It's gun backwards, and you can use my name. Well, I'm glad you said that because I didn't read that till the very end. I have no idea why you would get kicked out of the Nug Nation. That doesn't make any sense. So by all means, try it again. If it keeps happening, luckily there is a really cool thing about Rumble and locals, which they're intertwined. It's pretty much the same people running locals. Is if there's a problem, I can write this guy and he'll figure it out immediately. Like their customer service, so to speak, or technical support is unmatched. You would never, ever get that kind of support from any other platform. I guarantee it, right? Now, I'm not saying it doesn't happen all the time, but I'm just saying I email away, get it fixed. I have had copycat channels pop up on Rumble all the time. And it takes one email, and that same day that channel's gone. They don't vet it. They know I am the Nug. So if there's other Nug channels out there, they just go boop, they just delete it. There's like no copycats. We're not gonna have it. So love it. Love it, love it, love it. So over here in the chat room, Scooby Snack says, have you checked into the Chelsea Williams case? Chelsea Williams. Let me Google that really quick. Chelsea Williams. Is she missing? Let's try that. Missing. Chelsea Williams missing October 2018. Is this the Native American last seen in Arizona? Her SUV was found October 5th, Ash Fork, Arizona. Let's see if that's the one you're talking about. Cute. Let's see here. 32-year-old Chelsea. Oh, this is Chelsea Grimm. Is that what you said? No, you said Chelsea Williams. This is a different one. She's also missing. Interesting. Well, this one says Chelsea Grimm was last seen September 28th of last year in Williams, Arizona. Her SUV was found October 5th, northeast of Ash Fork, Arizona. Forest Service, 2 flat tires, and she was nowhere to be found. Interesting. You know what? I haven't. A Williams police officer. I don't know. That might be the same case we're talking about. I'll definitely look into it. You know what? There's so many missing person cases out there that I've never heard of. I am all for getting the word out. You know, ultimately, that's all I can really do at this time, because why is Jeremy doing all of these live streams? Why is Jeremy not out searching for missing people? Why is he not out on the boat with Adam? What is going on? Well, that is because I'm taking care of my wife till we get her this surgery, and that's pretty much what's going on. So I'm learning what I can with these live streams. I think I'm doing pretty good with them. You guys tell me if I'm not doing very good. Tonight is a fun-filled audience. We're almost at 1,000 people watching. That's not the record. It was like 1,100 people. I think one time was my biggest record. Page. I just got your message, Megan. I will take a look at it later on, and we will go from there. Dust Puzzle says, sometimes use different search engines such as DuckDuckGo to find results. Google limits bringing top of the list. Oh, I know that. And Google, I don't know if I should say this that loud, but Google likes to show you what they feel like showing you. You know what I mean? Like when you Google anything, like, I don't know, best bicycle ever, right? What is the first thing that pops up? Well, usually it's shopping or something like that, or it's videos. But what are the videos? They're all YouTube videos. You never see Facebook videos popping up. You never see Rumble videos popping up. It's always YouTube videos, first, at least. Why is that? Well, because Google owns YouTube, and that's how they run things. So, that person was trying to ask you how mom duty is with the kids. Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay. Candace clarified the kids running around thing. I'm doing good. It's stressful. Moms have one hell of a job, and kudos to moms because they do lots of stuff. So yeah, I'm not going to say I'm enjoying it, but you know what? I'm doing what needs to be done. So you know, just until she gets back on her feet, and then I'll go out and do what I do. She does what she does. It's all good. It's stressful, but I'll survive. Let's see here. Gotta go take care of the Candace. Yep. I'm not showing you are live on Rumble. Well, I guarantee you I'm live on Rumble because 722 people are watching me over there, and I'm just tickled pink about it. So, other than that, like, if you guys got anything else you want to ask me, make sure you hit me up in the chat room right now, or you can drop a question in that form, link in the description. Have you heard of the Martin family disappearance? They disappeared in the 60s or 70s, but in their car. 2 of the kids were found in the river, I think. I've never heard of that one either. That sounds like a big one, too. Big up to all moms out there. Memory of Charlie and Brown. We get messages, man. I'll tell you what. I should technically probably turn the phone off, but at the same time, I don't want to. Because you never know what might pop up. I might get a cool message. So, what is going on in the future for Jeremy? Let's see here. So, we got oh my goodness, tomorrow, family stuff. Long term, we are planning on going to North Carolina and to assist in the long search for missing people. It kind of died off, I thought. And then I got a message from a friend who lives in the area. And he re-energized my motivation after telling me what he's seeing, what he needs help with. And I'm like, we're all over it. I was like, but I got to get Candace healed up first. So she has the surgery. I got to give her a few weeks to heal up to the point where she can, get around and do her thing. And then when she says it's good to go, I'm on the road. And that's what we're going to do. We're heading up there. We'll probably spend, I don't know how much time we're going to spend up there, to be honest with you. But we're going to try to help out as much as we can. First thing I want to do is go see that darn semi-truck, just because it's hard to comprehend looking at a semi-truck that's buried in the river, right? pretty darn crazy. Refresh Rumble or check the live. Yeah. Oop, awkward silence. Don't you hate it when that happens? Let me double check really quick because I want to make sure that I didn't forget anything I wanted to talk to you guys about. But I think we're all caught up. Hopefully we figure out what the heck happened to Mr. Collenbach. And that one's just bugging the hell out of me, to tell you the truth. I wish I could figure out anything. I should, if I can get a chance, go down to that area and just start asking questions, you know? Be the best way to figure anything out. Story like that. Clear laptop, took out 300. Wow. Somebody emailed me a message here, but okay. So I think we had a good live stream, right? We got the word out. We got some people that are wanted by the police, and we got to find Mr. Collenbach. So that's the big thing of the day. Hopefully you guys absorbed some of the stuff that I told you. What do you guys think about how I'm doing these live streams? Because I'm learning as I go. I want to be better. I want to dominate this particular niche on Rumble. I will never be able to dominate on YouTube because obviously everybody else is very established, but Rumble is so new when it comes to certain niches. I want to be number one. So you guys tell me what I need to do to make it to that level. What can I improve on? What am I doing great on? What drives you crazy? And we'll go with that. And make sure you guys check out rapidcc.org. I noticed we did just get a donation. Somebody out there watching me right now donated to our nonprofit, which I greatly appreciate. Get the word out, share it with everybody, let you know that we're just people wanting to help, right? And we do it with your guys' help. So let's do that. And if you guys are watching me over there on Rumble, make sure you guys go down and hit that button, the Nug Nation. Become part of the Nug Nation. I just had a brain fart. What do I say? Nug Nation, you get kind of exclusive behind the scenes pictures, messages, also exclusive live streams, stuff like that. Ultimately, your support keeps our channel free for you guys to enjoy. So I appreciate each and every one of you guys for hanging out with me and watching this stuff. Make sure to drop a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and let's do this again. I'm thinking we can do it Monday. So let's jump on this thing Monday, 6 o'clock, see if we can find some cool stuff to talk about. I will see you guys then.